Bones are amazing things. They hold us up, they support us, they make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater for our one-shot edition of Swords Without Master. My name is Jeremy, and I have been playing the character of Rindesh Tel.
And I am Jordan, and I am playing the Overmaster.
I am Jeff, and I am playing Randall Prouse.
This is Johnny, playing Minkus Furhaven.
And previously on Swords Without Master Bone Throwers Theater, oh, that's a lot to say, we were just dealing with the perilous phase where the Blood Elves had been coming to meet their compatriots that you all caused to be thrown off the side. And so they were using magical pole vaults to cross the Gash of Sorrows. Now, in our play session, you all had to fight your way through. Minkus called for a giant pack of beasts to come and help you all. Rindesh discovered that his hammer, Blood Puller, was actually becoming easier to use whenever it came in contact with Blood Elf blood, not to be redundant. And Randall actually
Captured the magic of the Blood Elf.
Well, I did, but that's not what he was about to say. He was about to talk about...
I know, but...
he found one of the elements needed.
Or the time of
a child's last kiss.
More importantly, he captured the magic of a Blood Elf, which is what we were after.
I thought you were after relics.
A specific.
Yeah, Blood Elf relics. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and go into the discovery phase. So I'm going to go ahead and roll to set the overtone. Overtone is going to be jovial. So there is now a titanic clash between the forest animals of Animor and the blood elves of the tree kingdoms beyond the Gash of Sorrows. Tidal waves of animals are just sweeping down and trampling the blood elves underfoot.
Frogs licking eyes, deers poking butts, wolves biting ankles.
All sorts of unnatural things are happening. As you all are watching the final members of the party be swept into the Gash of Sorrows, the sun begins to set, and the three moons perilous begin to appear in the sky.
Yes, the moon pair, the moon L, and the moon S.
Haha. As they do, the temperature begins to drop significantly. And the air actually mixing with the fetid smell of sulfur that is emerging from the Gash of Sorrow, you also begin to smell the coppery tones of blood from the elves that have fallen to their doom.
I'm gonna do something.
Well, this is the discovery phase.
And do anything.
I will allow you to ask a question, though. Let me go ahead and give you the thunder. You know that if you fall asleep, the blood elves will be able to come across. More blood elves would be able to come across while you are unconscious. And one of the most famous spells of the blood elves is a spell that will make any in a party fall asleep. All members of a party fall asleep, even those who have been designated for watch. Of course. You have a moment of respite, but you know that if you take advantage of that, then more doom could fall upon you.
Okay.
So roll your dice.
Jovial. I notice a soft glow coming from a nest in a tree nearby that I know could only be the soft glow of a white feather.
So you're saying that a Snow White Raven...
It could potentially be.
That's his question.
My question is that the nest of a Snow White Raven?
If it is the nest of a Snow White Raven, then you will need to answer 3 questions that it has for you before it will be willing to even entertain your requests.
All right. So the dice go back to you, right?
No.
No.
They
They go to another player. Now remember that, this is something that we talked about before the game. We can always do the ritual that is in front of you where you can share the dice
Yeah.
between the two of you. I don't know if that would really work
in a discovery.
Yeah. But that's great in a rogue or perilous phase.
A pair of 4s.
Pair of 4s.
So it switches.
Yep, it goes to Glom.
Alright, well I know that many of my animal friends perished during this battle, and it makes my heart sad. But many more escaped back into the woods. So, my question is, how many of the forest beasts stuck around near our camp instead of retreating back into the woods?
Because you are stymied, you cannot really see how many animals stuck around. There is something that is pulling Paulwarn's attention away from you. And it actually is making you feel quite unsettled.
Are we still continuing?
We are continuing.
Ooh, Glum.
Oh.
Something that I obviously know is that my hammer reacts to blood and magic. Question would be, what was the magic actually doing to the hammer when it started to turn?
When it started to turn during the fight? Like when it was going faster?
No, when I touched the...
When it was twisting on the haft.
It was the tension of being within 2 different time streams that was causing it to twist. Like it was like being put within a torque.
Are we still continuing?
We are.
Okay, we got passed back to Johnny.
Alright, it's Glum.
Again.
Minkus knows that there is a glen in the forest, not too terribly far away from the edge of this gash, but it's far enough away that you cannot see the gash from it.
So you think you will be safe there?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's my question is, it's a 2-part question, is how long would it take for us to travel to that glen, and would we be safe there?
You would be as safe as you could possibly be in a wild and dangerous forest.
Well, the wild dangerous forest part doesn't bother me. That's where I live, so...
Right. As far as you know, there are no more blood elves on this side of the forest.
Okay.
It won't take you long to travel there. Only about...
5 days.
Oh, I was going to say only about 90 minutes.
Okay.
Full dark would be upon us by then.
Yes.
But at least you have a lantern to guide your way.
We do.
We are going to end this phase there.
Motif.
Yes.
It's hard to do motifs for Discovery rounds.
It is.
Do you want to go ahead and just skip the motif for this part? And then we can move on to another section, another phase?
Sure, if we think of one, we can always go back and write it.
I don't necessarily think that you have to have a motif for every phase.
No.
Yeah.
But the motifs do bring about the end of the game.
That's right.
How many motifs do we need to bring out the end of
9.
9?
9.
So this would be 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are going to go ahead and move into the rogues phase.
Rogues phase.
I have the dice, and I'm going to hand them off to a specific player to go ahead and
Demand!
Just make a demand. So at this point, you all have parley, and you determine that you want to go ahead and go to that clearing and rest safely for the night.
Yes.
I rolled a 5 on the glum die and a 1 on the jovial die. So we are going to continue on with the glum.
It's a sad field.
As it grows darker, the chances of speaking to the raven and getting a feather decrease. Now, you don't necessarily have to talk to the raven. You could always try and steal a feather.
Well, if we haven't gone all the way into the glade yet,
Which is a little ways in.
Mm-hmm.
then I would like to try and talk to the bird before going over there.
Okay. I would like to go ahead and see you climb the tree to get to the Snow White Raven's nest. This tree is
Full athletics.
85 feet tall, and this nest is about 75 feet from the ground.
Dude, that's a tall tree.
It is a tall tree.
You got some good eyes to spot a raven's nest.
Like I said, it was a soft glow.
There was magic involved.
Yes, but you can only see it when the 3 moons start to rise. Jovial.
You're happily climbing a tree.
I climb a tree. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Describe how you do that.
Well, I grab hold of the base and sort of work my way up to the lowest branch and then climb on top of that and start looking for perches where I can climb between branches whenever possible. And when not possible, I hold on to the heart of the tree and work my way up that way.
Okay. It does take some doing because it seems that the tree is enchanted. And
It would be.
it's like trying to hold on to a giant wet condensation covered glass.
Alright. I guess I worked my way up then.
Okay. Now you get to hand the dice to a new rogue player, making a specific demand.
Or back to the
Or
overseer to make a demand of him.
I request...
Rogues
feather.
don't request, rogues demand.
Well, demand that I be asked the 3 questions in order to obtain the feather.
What is your name?
What is your quest?
The raven has fallen asleep for the evening, and it pulls its head out from underneath its wing,
Start plucking it. Hey, you, wake up, bird.
and it blinks blearily at you. And so you're just like poking the bird, like going, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Well, if
So you're there, he yanks a bird, yanks a feather, and he jumps down.
it's asleep, then I'm just gonna grab whatever loose feathers there are.
Its nest is surprisingly tidy. There seems to be a dead mouse, we would save for later, but
Yeah.
Leftovers.
it went out for Chinese.
There's a dead cat.
Yeah, I'll keep trying to wake the bird
Okay.
because I don't want to just yank a feather off of it.
So the bird awakens, and it looks at you bleary-eyed, and says, "What are you doing in my tree?"
I'm here to gather a feather, a snow white feather from a snow white raven.
So the raven says, 3 questions I must ask you, and truly you must answer.
All right.
And then if I deem the metal of your response to be pure and true, then I will grant you your wish, so I can get back to sleep.
Fair enough.
The answers are Master Willis.
If you had to give your lantern up for one true thing, what would it be?
For one true thing, I would give it up for my life, were I to lose it.
If you were to protect only one of your compatriots, who would you choose and why?
I would choose Rindesh because of the power he wields in his hammer.
I was going to say Shadow.
Of course you would say Shadow.
He doesn't talk as much.
Why did you feel the need to destroy your village?
Because they sought to take away what I have made.
Those answers are as true as you can make them. And it reaches down to its wing and it plucks a long quill that is pure snow white and it hands it to you.
Thank you very much.
Now go away.
I'm on my way. Tucks it into where it's most safe and starts climbing down the tree.
All right. I am going to go ahead and pass the dice to Rindesh. And I'm going to ask how you respond when you find Shadow's corpse.
Ah! Jovial.
You can use your heroic feat.
Ooh. Gosh. Doesn't really fit.
As Johnny said, you can change your tone by using a feat.
Right.
That's what he's saying. His feet
The feet
fit.
doesn't really fit the situation.
Oh, I see.
So, jovial. How am I jovial about that?
Well, let's go ahead and look at what jovial can mean again.
Doesn't necessarily be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
Passionate, cacophonous, hot, terrifying, painful, aggressive. Those are some of the words that you can use as further definitions of jovial.
You always gotta kill the sidekick.
Sidekicks were made to die.
This isn't Munchkin, you already said so.
so he digs a grave,
Okay.
but before he buries Shadow, has a small, like, wineskin pouch, and he drains some blood of Shadow. It says, "We've been through many battles, and we will continue. You will give me strength."
All right.
I'll go ahead and pass it to you.
Alright, what's your demand?
I want to see how you figure out what is troubling your totem so much.
Paul Warren.
Well, 2 and a 1.
Okay, so that means a moral is created.
Mm-hmm.
When you roll a moral, continue as you normally would, playing out your part in the phase in the tone that you rolled. Your rogue will do what your rogue will do, and then something unfortunate, unwanted, or horrible will result from your rogue's actions.
Well, alright.
As the rogue player, you weave this unintended consequence into your description. You can weave it in, but you do not have to. After the consequence is settled upon, the player who rolled the moral must now write a lesson. This is the thing that the rogue could have learned from the experience if they were so inclined to be taught.
Okay, so after we get to the clearing in the woods, I go into a meditative trance
Okay.
to converse with Paul Warren. Specifically ask him what is bothering him. And he grieves for the many lives that were lost this day. And partially because of his actions in ending those lives.
Fair enough.
So what's the moral?
Yeah, what is the moral there?
So what's the consequence in that? So I have to choose a lesson.
Well, it sounds like the consequence is that he is more in tune to the natural world than you first thought.
Right, so the lesson would be... Hand me that one. Alright, let's see. Moral would be that, be careful how you say things, how things are phrased, and avoid putting those you care about in danger.
Okay.
Alright. So are we going in there, or are we...
Feels like a natural place to end unless you have a question.
No.
Yeah. And that's the end of the rogues phase. So we're going to go ahead and say that you all sleep through the night safely. We're going to go ahead and enter into a perilous phase.
Alright.
Oh, the tone is jovial.
What's the thunder?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use my trick,
Okay.
Omen, as the thunder,
Okay.
which I wrote down as luminescent rain begins to fall from the approaching storm clouds.
Do they fall from the forest side or do they fall from the blood elf side?
From the blood elf side.
Luminescent rain falls from the blood elf sky.
Just before dawn, I guess.
Okay. So this rain begins to fall. It's this bioluminescent glow. You've seen this kind of shading before, like in a cavern that has phosphorescent lichen, yeah. But it is a very unusual thing to see in a rain cloud. As it hits your hammer, it begins to sizzle, and it begins to stain the metal which was originally like a meteorite black, it begins to stain the metal this coppery green. So at this point, I will go ahead and give you the dice.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and interrupt.
Okay.
Ooh, with Glum.
Okay.
Rindesh is going to go ahead and hide the hammer underneath his fur that he's wearing.
Okay.
Fur over the top of his leather armor.
Okay.
So he's going to hide that underneath.
Okay.
And then shout to the rest of the group. Oh, we need to get out of this rain.
Okay. Who are you going to pass the dice to?
Jeff.
So as you are grasping the hammer to your boiled leather armor that you wear underneath your fur cloak, you start to feel this unnatural heat through the leather on your bare skin. You start to feel the metal of the hammer pushing into your skin. If you would pull back your cloak and you look at your armor, you would see that it's eating a hole through the leather.
Okay, well, I'm not holding it to it to have it eat through it anymore.
Okay. As the rain is falling, you start to hear like a buzzing drone. Like...
Thank you, Jeff.
Glum.
Oh, really quickly, we didn't write a motif for that last one.
yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Pain.
It was a bit of a downer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was a painful motif. His shadow died, and lots of animals died, and
Randall had to pretty much choose who he would save.
the risks of life.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to... What are you willing to sacrifice would be another good way to phrase it.
All right,
Alright.
back to the buzzing.
And you rolled a glum?
Yeah, I rolled a Glum. As this buzzing starts coming in,
It sounds like it's...
where are we headed? I'm sorry.
Well, we're in the
weren't
clearing.
headed anywhere.
They're just in the clearing.
Yeah.
I want to use my trick.
What
Okay.
is it?
The locust. A vast field under a towering tree that rises far into the clouds, shading a full mile of land. We
Okay.
see that off in the distance.
Okay.
I think that is our best hope for protection under that tree.
So as you guys begin to go towards the locust, you see it looks like a ship flying through the air with beating wings, like a dragonfly. And you can see blood elves leaning over the edge of the ship. It looks like they have slings with giant rocks in them. And they begin just releasing
What's propelling the ship? Can we tell?
wings, like
Just like bird wings?
giant dragonfly-like wings.
Okay.
As they are reaching towards you, they begin letting loose with these slings and hurling these softball-sized stones towards you. And when they hit into the ground, then these stones turn into magma and begin...
Well, that's a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that's a mystery.
Yeah.
Was it a Glum or Drovio mystery?
Glum.
Okay.
I thought mysteries
Not
were on the
mysteries.
discovery phase. The moral.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
The other M. The other M.
Anyway, focus. Magma rocks falling from the sky.
Magma rocks falling from the sky. Alright,
Blood elves chasing you in an ornithopter,
right,
a boat that goes like this.
yes. Quickly, we run into the forest
Okay.
Towards the mighty tree.
towards the mighty tree.
The tree will be our salvation.
Says Love's Masters.
Not paying attention to which way.
You're not paying attention to where you're going.
Yeah, we
You're
just
just trying to dodge the
Yes.
flying projectiles.
We're going the general direction of the tree. We're not paying close enough attention where we're going.
Okay.
In our haste, the three of us get separated.
Okay.
Passing the dice.
And what would the lesson be?
Watch where are you going?
Yeah, pay attention to your surroundings so you don't lose your support.
So, as you are running and you are getting separated, the first one to the clearing is Randall. And when Randall gets to the clearing, something that he was not expecting is there. Hanging from the tree in a giant, basket, you can see what looks to be a blood elf settlement in the tree.
Are you sure they're blood elves? They're not tree elves?
The blood elves lived in trees.
Yes, I know, but tree elves are different than blood elves, and they're not as evil.
So I rolled a 2 2s.
No. Again.
That means that you are stymied. It was glum, now it flips to jovial. Whenever a tie is rolled, regardless of who rolled it, the overtone flips to the other tone and everybody's tone shifts to this new tone. When a rogue player rolls a tie, that player stymies their rogue, and the overplayer marks this dramatic shift with an escalation. A stymied rogue is temporarily unable to accomplish what it is they were attempting. Each phase deals with this in slightly different ways, but for all phases, that rogue's player is the one that narrates the stymie and does not have to mean that the rogue fails outright. It can be but a setback, a tactical slip, or a momentary oversight. Should the rogue player wish it, it can be corrected. Though, if the rogue player prefers, it may be an undeniable failure. So what were you trying to do did you have in mind when you rolled the dice?
Well, I was going to turn around and I was going to cause the ship's wings to bind up so that they would crash into the earth.
Okay, so you are able to turn around. You're able to start that, but you can go ahead and narrate it so that it doesn't quite go the way that you expected it to.
Okay, so as I cast the magic, some of the wings on the ship start to bind, but then they break from their bindings and continue flying as normal, though it does cause smoke to rise up from the gears where they were binding.
Okay.
So it obstructs the slinger's views. It does cause the ship to drift as well.
Okay. We are going to go ahead and stop at this point, and we'll pick it up in the middle of this scene next time. Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means that you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is @bonethrowerstheater, and also you can look us up on Facebook and Google+. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.